Hello everyone. So I decided to record the best games I have and post them on YouTube because it's sometimes there are some interesting games on for selection. In this case, I had a 3 versus 3, and right off the bat, two of my teammates quit. I don't know if they quit, but I suspect they just disconnected. And the enemy team was right below us, so it's one of those maps that is very small, full of hostile animals. Luckily for me, there were no hostile animals between the three bases, and I decided to play. And this is what happened. Oh, I see that one of my allies built a house. That means that, yeah, this one built a warehouse. That means that they did connect. They just decided not to play. This is where I go, well, I'm guessing this is going to be awkward, and decided to do a stoneman, I think they're called, a rush. So first thing, I knew that I'm not going to age up, or at least I might not get a chance to age up. So I immediately started beefing up my population and built three, and then three barracks, and then added one more. And since my teammates were gone, I decided to take the one of their food, and then eventually I took the other one's food as well. In fact, I never calculated. Apparently, there is 3,000 food per player at the start. And obviously, I've made some mistakes during this rush, and you'll get to see them. So the first thing I did when I got the barracks was get the speed upgrade, and I built the stone cutter at the edge of the map, and I immediately got the strength training upgrade and the bone armor. And strength training helps with dealing with the altar of the enemy quickly. So one of the enemies saw that it's going to be a rush because his scout was in my base. The other player, I don't know what he was doing. He immediately tried aging up, and the third player was pretty much non-present. But there's an interesting turn of events there. I didn't have much time to wait, so as soon as I get, I think, 15 or 16, what are these called? Warriors. Oh, nice, warrior rush. Warriors, I go and I flank the first enemy, and I go straight for his workers. He moved his workers, so then I immediately went for his altar. He has to come back to defend the altar, and I end up fighting his workers and his, what are these guys called? Macemen, right in front of this bulwark. So once I'm done with this, I change the gathering location for my warriors. And since he's producing the macemen, they consume a lot of food. I don't remember exactly, but I think it's somewhere around 100 food, while warriors only consume 50 food. And if you don't have enough workers gathering food, you're kind of stuck. And in this case, he has only one worker gathering food, and the rest of his macemen are fighting my warriors, and then boar that I brought into his base. And since he wasn't finished off, I decided to just come with the second wave and finish him off. Actually, I decided to do two fronts. I went for him and the ally at the same time. So somehow he managed to bring a mammoth into his base, and this thing will do a lot of damage. Early on, just in general, you gotta run from mammoths unless you're going for archers. They're going to do a lot of damage. And while I'm working on this guy, some Chinese guy, Steve Jobs here is, I'm guessing he's out of resources because he can build warriors and he's refusing to. Let's have a look. Oh no, he is trying to build warriors, but yeah, he's absolutely out of food. Here I realized that this Chinese player has only 3 workers gathering food, and I just decided to chase them. I selected 2 warriors per worker, I set them up, and I concentrated on this front. And this boar was on the enemy's team for the whole game. I decided, hey, I might need to do something about the boar. I'm surprised that Steve Jobs didn't pull all of his workers and attack my warriors, because that will usually work. And here is when the Chinese player realizes that he's out of options. He has no warriors, no workers, so he can't gather this food, and he quits. I immediately reroute my warriors to Steve Jobs, who decided to pull his workers to gather food while they're being beaten to death. Not the best idea. And the other Chinese player decides to come to his rescue with few spearmen. The problem is warriors are not the best against spearmen. In fact, you're going to have a hard time fighting against non-Stone Age warriors with Stone Age warriors, unless you have the numbers, which I do in this case. And I'm slowly working on that town center for Steve Jobs. Meanwhile, this Chinese player, let's call him C2, he's got 5 barracks up. And you can see the tide is starting to turn for me, since he has a decent food production going, he has decent wood production going, and I am still stuck in Stone Age and I'm trying to age up. So Steve Jobs didn't quit, but we took out his town hall. And this is when I decide that I might need some extra food, and I send some more workers to food. I take them off of wood and reroute them to food. And here the berries are over, so I send all of the workers to start gathering fish. Usually presence of fish within the vicinity means that you can do a warrior rush. And as you can see here, I got into his base and I'm working on his workers. I wasn't micromanaging this portion, so he built a tower. It doesn't make sense to fight the tower. It's you're much better off for your resources to go after workers. And I still have the numbers here. I'm still able to kill his spearmen. They're doing a nice job. But I made a fatal mistake where I routed all of my barracks to somewhere here. And pretty much all of the warriors that come end up attacking these barracks. And I had to restart my research to Asia twice because I sent these workers, and with the new upgrade for war selection, you're unable to build these outlines of buildings if you change to a new stage. So you'll be stuck. And I wanted to put down some bulwarks and right next to my barrack, but I failed. I wanted to do a bulwark rush on top of a warrior rush, and this is where the tide changes. And our C2 has, let's see, Or is C2? Is this him? Yeah. Oh no. I'm guessing this is him? Yeah, this is him. Our C2 has 19 spearmen at this point, 20 spearmen, and there's no stopping him. He is almost maxing out his population, and he's doing good on the resources. So he's gonna have a decent flow of spearmen against warriors from Stone Age. I decided to build a tower with Asia, but since I wasn't able to micro since I was working in two places, trying to make sure that I'm gathering resources. I built a poultry yard to have at least the food production coming. And while I was working on that, all of my workers decided to commit suicide due to my error of leaving them where they don't belong. And this is when C2 decided to advance, and he just advanced and started destroying my entire base. I do not like to quit, so I'll try to put up a fight as long as I am able to. So here I built two distracting towers, and then start building my loop behind the base to repair. There's not much you can do against 20-30 spearmen with unlimited resources to build more. And yeah, he just destroys the entire base. And instead of destroying my elder's house, he tries to, I don't know what he's doing at this point. I think it's just showing off at this point. It's and I just played around with him. Still have these workers, and I was still in the game at archery. But obviously, 20-30 spearmen are just going to roll over everything. Killed my goose. Anyway, this is pretty much what happened during this game. Just a little bit of advice. Just because you have 3 players in a game doesn't mean that you're going to have a boring game. You don't. Not every game has to go all the way to IR2 and then have this massive battle to be fun. One thing I like about War Selection is that it's not Farmville. Most people that play this game quit right immediately as they see the enemy come. So if you work a little bit, if you put some effort into it, this game can be fun at any stage. You can do a warrior rush when you're early on. You can build spearmen. You can build heavy spearmen. You can do cavalry archer rushes. Later on, you can go for squads. You can do light knights. So there are a lot of stages to this game. Anyway, with all that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next interesting game.